to esteem become a millionaire soon. As soon as he realizes that Wara girlfriend t-shirts are going to sell. Dylan Footy Rambles, how are you, son?
So you've called me Dylan Footy Rambles, and then you've just ripped into me as well.
What is that
That's
real?
good.
He's a
That's good.
businessman. It's a businessman.
Yeah,
If they're
yeah,
going to chuck
maybe.
it at you, just make some money from it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Appreciate that, man. I hope that didn't take you too long to write, but I'm good.
I haven't written it down.
Yeah, sure. You've been brainstorming for the past 2 hours. I'm good, man. Glad to be here. Glad to talk about some actual football for once. That'll be a refreshing change. I'm very much looking forward to it. Yeah, good stuff.
We've also got Luke with us today. Big Hammer fan, first time on the show. Luke, before you introduce yourself, expectations for the season, very quickly, like Eminem and Rap God, as quick as you can. Are West Ham going to have a good season this season?
Well, we better do if we bring in deals better. But the squad we have at the moment, no chance at all. It's so thin.
And how can people find you?
My name is Luke Football on TikTok. I know it's a pretty boring name, but yeah.
It's definitely better than my name. Okay, myself and Daniel.
Yes,
unfortunately, called myself only Dan's. Today we've got so much lined up for you. There's we're going to be talking Liverpool and Chelsea, but specifically the game week 1 fixtures, if you like. Going to talk all the good things, all the bad things. There's a couple of little bit of bad things from my football club, but we'll breeze over that when we get there. Talking Moises Caicedo, have transfer fees gone too far? A little bit of FPL talk, and we're going to be talking about the fixtures coming up in the next coming weeks. First topic then, this week. I'm going to start on Chelsea-Liverpool because it was the biggest game this week. And I think myself, when I was watching the game, I had more talking points about the transfer window than I did the actual game, even though the game itself was enjoyable. We'll start with you. Any takeaways? What do you think of the game? What do you think of the two clubs?
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by Chelsea, to be quite honest with you. I think at the start of the game, Liverpool dominated it, had a lot of the ball pressing high. Chelsea didn't look like they could cope at all in possession. Obviously, they got that great goal as well. Diaz was getting so much space over on that left-hand side. Liverpool, after the first 15, 20 minutes, I thought they were going to walk away with it. But Chelsea came into their own, kind of looked like they had an idea about what they were doing. And as soon as that Disasi goal went in, they pretty much dominated the rest of the game in terms of goal threats. I don't think there's too much you can take away from the game because it's still early, but Pochettino's not been there too long, hasn't had that long of a pre-season. Chelsea still bringing a lot of new players in, got a lot of players to come back as well from injury, like Nkunku. So we can't read too much into how they're going to play. But if I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be very encouraged by that. A lot of people are saying they deserve to win the game and easily beat Liverpool scoreline-wise, which I don't really agree with. I think Chelsea had a lion's share of the possession, dominated the game, but they didn't really create that many clear-cut chances, which the XG will tell you as well, and if you just watch the game in general. But very impressed by Chelsea. Good early signs from them after a bad first 15 or 20 minutes or so. And in terms of Liverpool, it's the same old, problems rearing their ugly head, really. The defence getting caught out, playing a line that's way too high for the personnel they've got there in the midfield cover they have. Just not like Van Dijk can handle it anymore. Obviously, Trent often gets caught out of position as well. That midfield, for as good as it was tech-wise and as good as Szoboszlai looked and McAllister looked at times, it's not going to work playing Cody Gakpo in a hybrid number 8/10 position. And they were getting beaten all over the park and were kind of just too easy to play through, which is what we've become accustomed to with Liverpool in the past 12 to 18 months or so. But again, one of those things, Liverpool are going to look to bring a number 6 in. Obviously, Chelsea have stolen both of the main targets in Caicedo and Lavia off them, which is absolutely hilarious. But I'm sure they'll still get someone in. And obviously, there's the caveat with that, they're going to have to bed them in, learn Klopp's football, etc., etc. But I think basically Chelsea look more impressive given the time Poch has had and the amount of new signings and the amount of injuries they've got. Liverpool, same old problems. But again, first game of the season, big game, big ground, a lot of pressure. So I think both teams will be fine. But right now, if I had to back a team to do better this season, especially based on how the last week or so has gone for them, it would be Chelsea. And I was very pleasantly surprised by them, to be quite honest. I think, they'll put at least a top 4 push on with how they look at the minute and the signings are made, which I would not have said before a ball was kicked on Saturday.
Oh, it was crazy. I mean, thinking back with Chelsea as well, like when the Pochettino announcement. Let's go back to when they first announced their new manager coming in for the new season. I didn't expect this kind of transition. I also didn't expect this kind of transfer window. But moving on to Liverpool quickly, Luke, I'm going to come to you. When you look at them, I mean, 1-1 at the Bridge, considering how, I mean, forget the Chelsea of last season, the Chelsea that we saw over the weekend, they obviously look very good. Systematically, I thought they looked good. Obviously, quality in the middle of the pack needs addressing. They've addressed it. So 1-1 away at Stamford Bridge, when you look back on game number 38, it'll probably be seen as a good result. But Liverpool with 36% possession, that's weird. We haven't seen that in a very long time. There isn't much time left in the window. Would you be worried as a Liverpool fan right now?
I would personally, because obviously 2 players are rejected going to Liverpool, which I still find very strange because Liverpool have the Europa League, Chelsea don't have any European competition. But I know people are going there because of the contracts. Because I think they've just signed Elise today in talks with him, and City wanted him, so he's also rejected City to go to Chelsea. So obviously they have that pull of the money. Obviously the main factor for Liverpool is that number 6 spot, really. You've got Bajetic, he's going to be good, but he's obviously like only 18, 17 and was injured half the season. But I think that CDM spot, ever since Fabinho's left and not being the player he was, they need to get someone in there, really. It's my thoughts.
Do you think 1 would be enough?
Maybe not. Maybe even 2, to be honest. Like, you know, after going through Caicedo and Lavia, obviously wanting 1 or 2, but as I say, there's not that much time in the window left, and they need to get someone who's going to improve the midfield and be someone just as good as Fabinho was last season.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm a little bit worried for Liverpool. Not from, I mean, I couldn't really care less what happens to Liverpool, if I'm honest. I prefer him in this state. But as a Liverpool fan, I would be worried. Objectively speaking, it's a worry. I mean, the way they set up was a worry. I think it's more than what people are letting on as well. I don't think a number 6 is going to address it just because of the personnel they've got outside of the 11 that started. Dylan's already spoke about it already. Cody Gakpo in the 8 looks... He's not comfortable.
He was wasted, wasn't he, man?
100%.
It's one of them. Like, it fully depends on what kind of football Liverpool are expecting to play and what Klopp wants to play. If it's going to be that 3-2-5 system, Robertson basically needs spinning off because he's not good enough in the back 3, nor is he good enough in possession to be inverted like Trent would next to Lavia. Well, obviously not whoever they're going to sign anyway. There's a lot of problems, and like I said, then you've got a bed new signings in, a brand new system that they've never played before when they've been so used to such a different brand of football for 7 or 8 seasons. It's not going to be an easy transition, and it's one of them where they really could have done with getting those kinds of players in that are integral to that in the midfield. If you sign an attacker, it's not going to be that much of a difference to how you normally play. But, if they buy another centre-half or some cover for Van Dijk, replace Robertson, get a number 6 in, those are the very important positions where they're going to have to adjust and transition into that style of play. And obviously, there's always something to be said for signing players early on in the window. We saw it with United last season, how off the pace we were because of so many big signings we made in August, late July, didn't get a pre-season. And that's going to harm a team. And it will harm Chelsea as well, which I haven't seen spoken about at all. But that's just standard. But Liverpool need to add so much and change the game so much so quickly that it definitely is a worry, yeah.
I think one thing that has also gone... I suppose I'm jumping the gun too early. In fact, I know I'm jumping the gun too early here. My knowledge of Szoboszlai exists off of YouTube the day that they signed him. I've looked at heat maps. I've looked at stats. I've looked up opinions of people that I trust. The thing that stuck out to me before he actually signed was the heat map, in that when he plays centre mid, it's still all on the right wing. Yeah. And the reason for me why that was important is because that was the same problem that Liverpool had with Harvey Elliott last year. Mm-hmm. So when the ball was kicked on the weekend, I was enjoying it. Football was back, 2 big teams. I was looking forward to the game. I thoroughly enjoyed the game. And I also see Szoboszlai playing right wing again. And that, for me, as a Liverpool fan, would worry me because he's their answer. When you ask a Liverpool fan, what do you need? They say a number 6. They say McAllister, Szoboszlai, and pick whoever you want here. It's not going to be the 2 that are off to Chelsea. I don't know. McTominay.
Amrabat, doesn't matter. Yeah.
There you go, Amrabat. I gave him McTominay, but we'll go Amrabat for now. To me, it still doesn't work because in my head, I still feel like everything that we've seen up to this point and read up to this point, Szoboszlai goes right mid, and that to me would be a worry. I'm not saying it will be that way for a long time. It wouldn't surprise me if make-believe Amrabat comes in a 6. Then we got McAllister there, that Curtis Jones wouldn't fill the role. That's the way I see it panning out. But I guess time to be seen, isn't it? Really?
It's one of those things. You need to balance quality also with players that can play positions and provide the energy. That's why the likes of Fred and McTominay have played so many games for United in the past. Yeah. Even though we've got much superior midfielders and technicians there, sometimes Jordan Henderson at Liverpool, James Milner, you need the positional awareness and the running and the defensive ability. And they're definitely lacking that at the minute. It's clear to see.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page here, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to touch on our clubs. Luke, I'm going to come to you first. I didn't catch the West Ham game myself. I saw the score.
No,
I saw a little bit of the highlights. Talk to me. What happened? Were you happy? Are you worried?
We drew to Bournemouth away, which I don't think is a bad result. Obviously, Bournemouth got some really good new players. They've got the left back from AZ. I can't remember his name, but I remember he stood out when we played them. The Hungarian left back. I don't think it's a bad result. We had 4-0 in CDM. That's how thin our squad is at the moment. Because Edson Alvarez didn't go through at that point, and Ward Prowse said he got announced yesterday. But 1 point against Bournemouth, who proved last season that they are good enough to be in the Premier League, I think it's a decent result. But we have Chelsea this weekend, a bit different story that, but we'll see, won't we?
You optimistic? I genuinely thought Chelsea looked very good. Did you watch that game at the weekend, and are you worried at all? Because obviously West Ham are not settled yet. I mean, similar position to Liverpool in the fact that you don't know when that window shuts what your squad's going to look like. Moving into the Chelsea game, I mean, confidence there at all? I mean, you'll be at home this time, right?
Yeah, we're at home, and typically we do quite well against Chelsea at home. But our squad is just so a mess. Like, Creswell's on about leaving, Antonio's on about leaving, Paqueta's on about leaving, Flynn Downs is on about leaving. I couldn't tell you the starting 11 we're going to play against them. So I really don't know. It depends what West Ham show up, really. It depends who plays, because, as I said, I couldn't tell you who our starting 11 is going to be. So
yeah, I mean, Alvarez and James Ward-Prowse to come in, but then it's that time in the squad, isn't it? I guess that's where the worry comes from. Dill, should we do it?
We're talking about United, mate.
Do you want to? Should we keep it short or?
Yeah, we can keep it relatively short, can't we?
Far away, mate. I'll let you go off.
Yeah. So if anyone's living under a rock that's watching this, or if this is a clip or whatever, obviously we drew. Well, we drew. It felt like a draw. We beat Wolves 1-0. Absolutely horrendous performance from my point of view. I'll sum it up quickly. All of the optimism and excitement I had ahead of this season, thinking we were going to cook decent pre-season, beating the likes of Arsenal, looking well organised, looking decent, bedding in new players. I thought we were going to go and walk all over Wolves 3-4, 5-0 yesterday. And credit to Wolves because he turned up. They did play really well in transition with Cunha and with Nunes and Hwang and players like that. They did do really well, and they do obviously have some good attacking talent there, and he might be safe this season. So they did play well. Hats off the Wolves. It's not like we were playing fucking Accrington and Stanley. But we weren't good at all. There was massive problems. The main one that I've just made a video on recently, a couple of hours ago, was the gap between the midfield and the defensive line. I don't know and the problem is for me, I don't know what we're trying to play. Ten Hag said transition football, but then you invert Shaw into the midfield. We play in a 3-2-5. We still can't break down a deep block. The massive gaps between the midfield and the defence, as we both mentioned to each other last night, firing balls into Rashford, into Garnacho, into Anthony, just all playing vertically because you've literally got three players here, three players here, three players here, no width, no ideas, people not moving on the ball. There's a lot of worries because. And people will throw at me, as you probably will in my comments in my video that I've just uploaded that I'm not looked at yet. Oh, well, it's only the first game, new signings. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's been there for a year. The only player that's affected by this problem we had yesterday that is new is Mason Mount. Casemiro, Bruno, Lissandro, Lindelof, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, all of them have all been there under Ten Hag for a year now. They should know what they're doing, and that's my worry. I don't know if we're going to try and dominate football matches and play 3-2-5, or if we're going to play a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-1-4-1 and play a bit more transitionally, or if it's going to be managed on a game-by-game basis. Whatever, if it works and we win shit, I couldn't care less, honestly. I would like to see us take the onus and a bit more responsibility in a football game at United now, especially with the manager and the money we've spent. But I don't know what the idea is. Like that looked as disjointed as Ollie's games at United.
I said that. I said that's the most we've looked like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Man United since Ten Hag has been here. That's worrying because it's a year into it as well.
Yeah.
That scares me. We've always been, this particular set of players have always struggled against low blocks, and that hasn't changed under Ten Hag. We're better when the game's open. But the problem for me is, and Alex Ferguson said once upon a time, Arsenal beat Man United in the Charity Shield, and one of the reporters there at the time, journalists, if you like, said to him, how are you going to win the league when Arsenal are better than you? He didn't ask if Arsenal was better. He just straight up told him Arsenal are better than you. He said, that's fine. Arsenal can beat us twice. We'll beat everybody else, which is where your points come from. And especially in the Prem, if you wanted to just separate it to a top 8 or 9, I'll give you 9. That means there's 11 teams, so 22 games where you should be at least walking up, expecting to win on the day, creating more chances, holding on to the ball more. If we can't do it at home against Wolves, that to me, we just need a way to do that. If they low block, you can't play in transition. If you can't play in transition, you need to look after the ball better. If we can't look after the ball better, how do we get these 22 games worth of points? It's a worry for me. And like you said, I don't think it being day number 1 is an excuse, because it shouldn't be.
No, I don't know what's going on. It is worrying, but let's not be too miserable. We've still made some decent signings. Mount needs time to bed in. Onana, they need to get used to playing with a competent goalkeeper who can use the ball. Let's just see how we do against Spurs, I guess, and not be too depressing as I usually am. Let's not be on brand.
Luke, we've got a couple more games to go through, but we ain't got time to do the whole week. So, any standout this week? Are you still looking at Arsenal and City? Has anything changed your mind this weekend? Anyone else you want to talk about?
Newcastle looked absolutely ruthless against Aston Villa. Like, they look ridiculous. And obviously, everyone's beating up Aston Villa this season to potentially get Champions League football. I've seen some people say that, but
yeah,
Newcastle absolutely just ran riot, and I think they will still be up there. Obviously, Arsenal looked a bit shaky near the end against Forest. Obviously, they could have even got a draw from that game. Alanga, what a run that was. And then City looked routine against Burnley. So that's my thoughts on the games.
Yeah, fair. Dale, anyone else you want to touch on?
Not particularly. I watched the Brentford Spurs game. That was an interesting matchup. Spurs did look good, but same old problems, brittle defensively. Had to bring Davinson Sanchez on, which is never a good sign if you want to win a football game, really. But that was a decent game, a decent matchup. I think Spurs will be better without Kane than we thought they would be based on that. Apart from that, mate, like Luke said, Newcastle trouncing Villa. I didn't really watch any other games fully enough to comment other than that. So
yeah, that's fine.
They're the main ones for me.
I watched the Spurs game as well. I thought they looked a lot better. It's very rare that somebody gets 70% possession against a Brentford side. And for that, their first game under Ange, they got a system there. They got ideas there. Basuma looked a lot better, a lot more comfortable in the system, had proper wide men. I thought it looked all right.
Yeah.
It looked all right, yeah. Basuma actually playing like Basuma as well. Refreshing.
Okay, lads, first question time. And Dale is going to be yourself. Just going to go over the rules really quickly. So you've got 90 seconds to answer all questions. There are 12 points up for grabs. That will make way more sense when I go through the questions. And I've got really bad feedback. What is going on? I can only hear myself.
Is it you, Luke?
I don't know. I could just hear popping. Can you hear popping?
Yeah, no, I can.
Okay, I thought it was just me.
I can hear it. So.
Oh, I don't know then.
I can just hear popping. I don't know.
Yeah, I can constantly. I'm not sure.
Touching the mic or any flicking or buttons, I don't know. But all I can hear is feedback.
It wasn't like that at the start, was it? Luke, mute your mic for us just for a sec, see if it stops. Yes, it's Luke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, Dale, I'm going to do your questions. Luke, feel free to drop out and drop in. That's all right. I just couldn't concentrate then. Yeah, I'm going to go through the rules. So we've got 90 seconds to go through the questions. There are 12 points up for grabs, okay? I'm going to go through the questions. The 12 points will make more sense as I go. If you answer one of the questions incorrectly, you cannot pass it. So you can't re-guess it. If you say pass, I will come back to it, if that makes sense.
Right, so sorry, just run through that last little bit again.
You are allowed to pass at any point, bearing in mind this time frame. So if
I go back to it, did you say?
Yeah, you can absolutely go back to it. You can answer part of the question and say pass, I'll come back to it, no problem.
Right, okay.
If you answer the question and it's incorrect, I won't come back to it.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah?
Cool. Yep.
So 90 seconds.
Let's
Luke
get it,
isn't
baby.
here as my little timer, I am going to put a little timer on my phone. I will shout. I'm not going to give you the countdown, but I will shout time when it actually comes up.
Okay. That's fine with me. That is
right, so 90 seconds on the clock. I'm going to get the questions ready. I'll run through the questions as quick as I can. Try not to waste your time. But Dylan, your first question is: name the 5 clubs who managed to score more than 1 goal on the opening weekend.
Man City, Newcastle, Brentford, Spurs, and Brighton.
Yep. Who was the most amount of money for Manchester United? Who was sold for the most amount of money for Manchester United this season? How much was the fee?
As in this summer transfer window?
Yep.
Shit. I'm going to go with Fred.
Nope.
Shit.
Bellingham scored on his debut for Real Madrid in a 2-0 win versus Athletic Club, but who scored Real Madrid's first goal?
Mate, I've not got a clue. Let's go for Vinny.
Nope. Kane's debut for Bayern didn't go to plan. They lost 3-0 to a German in the German Super Cup. Who scored a hat-trick for Leipzig?
Danny Olmo.
Correct. Simon Adingra scored on his debut for Brighton versus Luton, but who scored the other 3 goals for Brighton?
Ferguson.
Yep.
João Pedro.
Yep.
And shit.
20 seconds, take your time.
What, just on this question alone?
Yeah, just on this question. You didn't pass on any.
Oh, shit me. Oh, no. How annoying. I'm just going to have to guess with someone and go Pascal Gross.
Nope.
Who was it?
2 out of 3. March.
Oh, shit, yeah. Fuck's sake.
It's all good. It's all good. So you got 5, 6, 7. You got 8 out of 12. That's not bad.
That could be worse.
8 out of 12.
Oh, my God. This is going to pot.
That is not bad at all.
We'll take those. We're getting Luke back in.
Yeah, I mean, if he's there.
I think he is.
Okay, well, just going to bring up the next segment. I'll reintroduce it when Luke gets here, if not. Moises, not specifically Moises Caicedo. We know about the fee. We know why the fee happened. It's more so around, we're using it as an example. A transfer fee is getting out of hand. What's your take on the skyrocket? How do you think it's come about? Are you happy with it? Do you think it has a knock-on effect to everybody else? Just where do you sit on the subject?
I think transfer fees in general, I don't think they're worth talking about too much, purely because I just see it as a fee that a club is willing to pay and a fee that a club is willing to accept. It's not always a direct reflection on someone's ability. It can often be a reflection of how badly the other club wants to keep the player, how much money the other club has to spend. So that's really it. We know very well that Harry Maguire was never worth £80 million, but English, played in the English national team. Leicester really didn't want to sell him, didn't need to sell him because another caveat is, or another factor is that there's so much money in English football nowadays that these clubs like Brighton, like Leicester, like Southampton in the Championship now don't really need to sell their players, so they can afford to haggle for bigger fees. So that's part and parcel of it as well. And I think that's it, really. Obviously, they get walked a bit when Pogba went years ago. Neymar, Bellingham, Caicedo, Rice, they're going to walk the market a little bit. But I just think it's a general reflection on where football's going, and especially where English football's going, where there's so much money in it, inflation in general, and, clubs not really needing to sell players. That's just really where it's at. And I don't think it really affects clubs too much, because we're seeing clubs that, no offense to clubs that are smaller, like a Brighton I know they made a lot of money, but potentially spending £50 million on a player, that would have been unheard of for a team that finished 7th, 8th in the Premier League. They finished 6th, but you know what I mean. So it's just that the market's gone silly in general, and it's not really affecting anyone in England because they've all got money. The TV deals are massive, and they can sell the players for ridiculous money anyway. So I don't think it's really affecting our game too much. Obviously, it's affecting games overseas a bit more, like Newcastle being able to go and buy one of AC Milan's better players. Teams in Italy and in Spain that aren't Real Madrid, Barcelona, or Juventus not being able to afford huge wages and fees. But in my opinion, like we said in the past, manage your clubs better, market better, be a better business, because that's what the Premier League's done. It's not like we've suddenly just got this cash injection that we didn't deserve. It's been a good product that's been marketed well for decades on end, and other countries and other leagues haven't done that, and you can fucking hold it. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not bothered.
Yeah, no, I think it is just natural. I mean, this is how businesses run. This is how economics work. This is just inflation happens. I mean, we've seen it with Freddo bars, as people love to say, from 10p to whatever they are now.
Yeah,
it all does get ridiculous. But I think just football is just a fast-forwarded version of that, just because the amount of money and eyes on the product. Luke, I'm going to set this question up differently for you. We use Moises Caicedo as an example. I've got a better two for you. Paqueta and Declan Rice. That's over £200 million. Does these inflated fees bother you in any way? Does it annoy you in any way? Do you feel like you struggle more as a football club because you can't reach these heights in terms of buying people for that much? Or is it also a good thing because you get to do what you've done this summer and moving players on?
Yeah, Paqueta's not worth 80 million. Like, he's not worth the money City that we're evaluating him for. Rice, I think Rice is worth 100 million personally. I don't know if that's biased. I'm a West Ham fan, but yeah, the other way around is frustrating. Like I remember years ago, this was like before all this. Like Burnley wanted 50 million for James Tarkowski. Like he's mid-table centre back at best. So yeah, when we sell players like Rice, Piquet, and clubs know we have money, then they'll charge even more to buy players as well. I think that's another negative that comes with this inflation. But on the good side, yeah, getting 90 million for Piquet, he got about 3 Premier League goals last season, and yeah, it's good on that side.
So you'll be happy with that.
I miss his champ, but yeah,
it's a cracking chant.
He can do a decent samba as well.
Yeah. Little Brazilian flair at the bowl. But yeah, I mean, when we talk about it, because I remember like we used to say contracts aren't worth the ink they're written with in terms of football, i.e. if you sign a 5-year deal but Man United come in for you, Michael Carrick's going, you know. I think nowadays contracts are held really well by football clubs. I think Dill hit the nail on the head a little bit when he said teams don't need to sell anymore. There used to be a need to move players on, whereas now it's more, this is our, forget it's a football player, as a business, like this is our asset. Oh, you want it? This is how much we value it at. So when we talk about inflated transfer fees, or for example, let's say Caicedo, he's not worth 110 million or whatever it is they ended up paying. If he's worth that to Brighton, then he's worth that if the other club's willing to buy it. Or do you still look at players and think that's, you mentioned it already, Luke, so maybe I'll come back to you on this, like Paqueta, you're like, he's not worth 80 million, we'll sell him for 80 million. Let's say, for example, you value him at 50 and you would need to replace him if somebody came in. So City come in, offer you 50, would you, bearing in mind he's worth that, would you personally, you own West Ham, would you sell him for 50?
So side Paqueta for 50?
Sell him for 50, yeah.
I don't think in this time of the window, because we've got about 15 days left, so it'd be hard to get a replacement for him. But I don't know, it's a tricky one, because to be fair, we don't need to sell him. As Dylan said, we don't need to sell him because we are struggling with squad depth this season. We are really struggling. Like we've linked with Lingard, you know what I mean? Like, that's how much we're struggling with squad depth. So I personally wouldn't sell him for 50. I'd sell him for about 60, 70 million. I think that would be fair. Not the 90 million. I think City being robbed there.
Yeah, because you paid like what, a good 40 odd for him anyway, right?
Yeah.
So you need to. I don't blame them. Like you need to try and make a bit of money. It'd be a bit pointless getting a player in for 40, 50 million, paying him 100, 150 grand a week, then letting him go for the same amount of money, wouldn't it? It wouldn't really be a good business decision. But I don't know. Well, 70 million was rejected and City are going back. So I reckon you could probably squeeze 75, 80 out of them easy, which is good if you can reinvest it properly. If you can't, it's pointless for you as a fan. Do you know what I mean?
You're going to have the same problem as well, because it's too late in the window. We're not going to sell him. We haven't got enough in our squad. Okay, fine, have 85. Your replacement, the club that you go to, is going to be like, we don't need to sell. You're going to have the same problem going that way.
Yeah, fees are inflated. West Ham tax, you got 105 for Rice, and that'll fuck you, man. Losing your two best players essentially in the same window that both play in the same or both play midfield is pretty bleak. So I honestly, West Ham don't need the money. Just keep him, because I think losing him would be such a loss, and you're not going to be able to replace him for anywhere near what you're selling him for someone who's as good. So it's gonna. I don't know. I don't reckon it'd be a good decision. Like all in all, honestly, for you as a club.
Next season, he's got a release clause of 85 million, so we can go next season if you want.
Yeah, there you go. It's just if he keeps his stock high and has a good season, though. But he didn't have a particularly fantastic season last season, anyway. So
that's the thing. I don't understand why they want him for that much. He didn't have a good season.
Pep's obviously seeing something in him, isn't
he? Yeah, Pep sees a player. He looks for very specific qualities in an individual. Like he won't care about performances in terms of that. He'll just look at the profile. And be like, Nathan Ake, for example, he got relegated.
True, yeah.
It was like Grealish, wasn't it? Like he had a decent season with Villa, but 100 million, and then look at him now. Everyone knew it'd come good. I trust Pep with absolutely everyone he signs. He signs, because he always work.
Very rarely gets it wrong.
Phillips is probably the only questionable one so far.
Yeah, and
and
I think that's just because of the lack of game time. I still think he's a very good player. He's been unlucky with injuries. I think, if Rodri's out,
Phillips said. Did you hear what Phillips said when he spoke about Pep last season? He said,
fuck this ball fraud.
When he was injured, he went to America and he come back tiny bit overweight, and Pep just thought he was unprofessional, so he didn't give him.
Yeah, he blasted him in the press for it, didn't he? But it's one of them things, man. It depends who's managing you. You know what you're getting yourself into. Sir Alex had sometimes calls players out. If you can't handle the heat, get out of the fucking kitchen. You know what I mean? You're not going to go to Man City and have an easy ride. And nor should you, with the money you're on and the amount of money you're going for, be going on rehabilitation trips and coming back overweight. That's the opposite of what you should be doing. So maybe you shouldn't call them out, but psychology, man management, maybe he thought it'd work, and some players respond to that, some don't. It's just one of them, isn't it? If it worked and he came back, Roger got injured and he had a storm the last 6 months of the season, he'd be like, what a genius Pep is.
Yeah, I mean, we can bring this full circle as well, because Liverpool are going to have the similar problem. They've been toying with the idea of Lavia for ages. I mean, Chelsea did it with Caicedo as well. I think if you go in strong and you listen to the selling club and you don't try and bring them down a couple of mil here and a couple of mil there, there's less of a panic. But Liverpool, we've spoke about it already with the no need to sell at this stage of the season. Who have Liverpool even got now on their radar? I mean, they could go ask Fulham very nicely, maybe. Or I don't know, Sangara, maybe PSG, someone like that. But PSV, sorry, they're struggling. And this is how Manchester United made the Anthony mistake.
Mm-hmm. You love him though, so what do you mean?
What
He's
mistake?
your boy.
What you exactly. Mistake? I didn't say mistake.
Yeah, I don't think Pellegrini fits anyway, really, to be honest. I don't think he's that good on the ball. I don't think he's really what they need. Going from a profile like Lavia to him is just night and day. I think if they get him, they're just signing anyone they can, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it costs a lot of money as well, because, again, Fulham don't need money, and it's so late in the window. They are fucked, and I will be there no matter what. And I will
be there no matter what.
Yes.
Right, Luke, question time. Are you ready?
I'll get a timer for you.
Would you like me to run through the rules?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you've got 90 seconds on the clock. Essentially, you're going to be asked 5 questions with potential 12 answers. So that will make more sense as the questions come along. If you would like to pass on any answer, absolutely fine. We'll come back to the question at the end. If you attempt to get the answer right and you get it wrong, you will not be able to go back to it at the end if you've got any spare time. Any questions?
No, that's perfect. Thank you.
Sweet. Okay, when Dill tells us he's ready with his little stopwatch, we'll get going.
Yeah, I'm ready when you are, lad.
Luke, ready? Luke, we ready?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I'll count you in.
Go on.
I've got the timer. 3, 2, 1, go.
Name 5 clubs who managed to score only 1 goal on the opening day of the season.
Only one. Us, Bournemouth, Villa, Chelsea, Liverpool.
4 out of 5. West Ham's most expensive summer sign-in is who, and how much was he bought for?
What, ever, or just...
No, this summer.
Oh, this summer. Is it Ward-Prowse 30 mil? No, Alvarez at 33. Is that right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Which Barcelona player was shown the red card in the 42th minute in Sunday's 0-0 draw with Getafe?
42th.
42nd.
I have no idea.
Have a guess.
A 0?
No, Rafinha. Oh. Roberto Mancini resigned as head coach of the Italian national side this week, but who was the last Italian manager to lift either the World Cup or the Euros before him?
I don't know. Allegri? I don't know.
No. Isaac bagged a brace versus Villa at the weekend for Newcastle. Name the other 3 goal scorers for Newcastle in that game.
Barnes, Tonali, and Wilson.
Perfect. There you go.
Did he get that first one wrong? Was he?
No, he got it. No, he did get it right. The problem is I didn't have Villa written down, but Villa did score 1, didn't they? So I gave you 4 out of 5. So first one you got 5 for. The second one you got perfect. It was Edson Alvarez for 33 million. I had James Ward-Prowse in brackets because I had an assumption that you might say it. The red card was Rafinha. Obviously, no points for that one. The Italian manager to last lift either the World Cup or the Euros was Marcello Lippi. And you got all 3 in the last one as well. So you got 5, 6, 7. You only got 2 wrong. So that's 10 out of 12. You're currently 2 points ahead of the deal with the last game to play with the tennis thing. So well done, mate.
Nice in the driver's seat, man.
I'm not sure what that pronunciation of what did I say?
The 42th minute.
42nd, lads. 42nd.
Sorry, shouldn't have thrown you off track there.
No, it's fine. I heard me say it as well. I thought, do I retrack or I'm wasting time here? I don't want to mess Luke up. Right, next topic, FPL. I know you're looking forward to this still. I might come to you first. We've got draft going. I wish I had some graphics to show you. Oh, look at that! How did that happen? I didn't even do that.
Come on.
Perfect. Come on.
Luke's not even on the screen. Sorry, Luke. I had to get that in there, mate.
Oh, look, there he is. There he is. In fact, Luke, I'm going to come to you first. Talk us through it.
Oh, yeah. But basically, I wasn't there for the initial draft, so I just put them on a watch list. I ended with a front three of Lukaku, Martial, and Nkunku.
Can we get your team on the screen? Is that possible? If
yeah,
not,
Dave should be able to click it.
If you can get his team on the screen, you can talk us through it. Because basically, Luke wasn't there on the day of the draft. So the idea was that he was supposed to put a list together. And I'm going to ask Luke how well this went in a second. He was supposed to put a list together that would allow him to get his priority, depending on if they're gone, he'll get the next one down, all the way down throughout the whole players in the league. That was his job before, and this is what it come up with. Luke, what happened?
I mean, there's some okay picks in there. Porra, Rashford.
Yeah.
That's under Arnold. I mean, look at the two strikers.
Can I ask a quick question, Luke?
Yeah.
Why didn't you start Martial just in case he played over like Nkunku, who's definitely not, or like Zinchenko, who might play over?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to have a good clear out. I think.
Yeah, you're gonna have to look at the free agents, man.
Well, Lewis Potter does. That's all right. But yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah. To be fair, we are slandering it. I said when we did the draft, I quite like that midfield. Lewis Potter, I'm not sure on, but Jota, Brennan Johnson, I thought was a very clever pick. Bowen,
he's good
Rashford,
last season, wasn't he?
Porro I liked as well. Trent's a pretty good one. It's not actually that bad. It's literally just the strikers who've knackered it, and I really don't know who's free to pick up at the minute. I don't feel like there's many good strikers.
No.
Do you know what I can do? I can have a quick look for you. I'll look at all available strikers, and I'll quickly let you know.
Yeah, you're struggling a bit. I mean, Lukaku's not going to kick a ball. Let's be honest. But
no.
And Nkunku's what, 4 months? Martial's back now, by the way. So you've and also Højlund isn't back yet, and Rashford was terrible in the 9. So
yeah, the one thing I will say, Luke, is I'm pretty sure Curtis has requested Danny Welbeck for Harry Kane. You're the lowest rank in the draft, so if you request Welbeck, you will get Welbeck off him.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that could be worth swapping out for Lukaku because he's never going to play for Chelsea. You've got Antonio, possibly. Cunha's there for Wolves, who looked bright yesterday. You've got a couple of options. Like it's not amazing, but Danny Welbeck's better than Lukaku, who's never going to play, isn't it?
If you're not winning it, just don't come last because the forfeit's not going to be very nice.
It's not.
João Cancelo as well. I mean, I saw links with him today that if Kieran Tierney leaves Arsenal might want him. So you might get a little bit of luck there, getting an Arsenal defender off of a non-starter. He's almost Lukaku at this point.
Yeah, that is good. I mean, in terms of the rest of the league, obviously, I'll just let you all know. Dave had it up on the screen for us before. I am top. 12 goal difference above anybody else, and I didn't even have Haaland in my team. Beat Curtis by a massive, what was it in the end? Where's Curtis on here? By a massive 33 points. Doubled his score. Things are looking up for me right now, man. I'm very happy with that. Obviously, Gibbs White didn't really work, but I thought it could have been a good pick. Yeah, I'm quite happy with my team right now. Next game week isn't looking as strong, but we've got a little possible swap coming in if no one else requests it, because I am top of the league. So if anyone else requests him, they will get him ahead of me. But that's not bad. Obviously, Dave's showing the bench as well. I'll quickly. Jacob Ramsey and Moreno, I thought were just good picks for the whole season. They are both out for 3 weeks, though, which isn't great. But apart from that, I'm quite happy with that. Wan-Bissaka looks like a good pick. Obviously, I came top, and my main man in Bruno didn't even do anything. But I'm quite happy with that front three as well. I'm happy with where I'm at right now in terms of.
It does look good. I mean, I'm looking at the lads in your team, which lads listen to me like they can hear me. Even the ones which didn't score any points, they're going to get you points this season. Maybe not so much Morris, but I mean Gibbs, White, Hickey, you'd expect to get a couple from them.
Yeah.
So I think you had a little bit of a gamble with the injured lads on the bench as well, didn't you? Like that.
I did. But you know what? If the one proposed transfer I've tried to get one of those injured lads out works, then I could be quinted in. And right now, none of those players in the starting 11 are injured. They're all doing fairly well. They all can potentially score high points. So I'm quite happy with it. My only issue is that Carlton Morris isn't playing on Saturday because their game's been called off because he can't play at home yet. So that's my only trouble. So if I don't get this trade I want, I'm going to have to field 10 men, which will be a bit upsetting.
I mean, John Stones should be back.
He isn't. I don't know.
Oh,
He
okay.
could be. But
And your
it's not.
your sub keeper is second choice at his club as well.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I didn't go for Areola. I kind of just panicked when I had 10 seconds left.
You got Martinez in goal, haven't you?
Yeah. Which
Would it not be worth swapping Martinez with Areola, and then at least you've definitely got a keeper in every single week?
Someone's got Areola, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, I mean, try trade Martinez for whoever's got Areola.
Nah, I'm okay. I'm okay with Martinez. Villa should be pretty good defensively. I'm keeping it as I am.
Deal, if you're happy, I'm happy.
First time you said that, mate. Thank you very much.
Go on, and we'll drag mine up. Unfortunately, took a big fat owl from Gareth Eno Football. The reason why I lost this week is because if you drag it down to the bench, that's where all my points are. I had a cracking week. My bench, I think there may be more points on my bench than there are at a certain 11.
Would you have won if it wasn't for if you had the bench playing? Would you have won?
Well, yeah. I mean, Leno and Edouard as well, Henry. Yeah. I mean, you could see why I didn't because of the fixtures and stuff. But I mean, a couple of things went against me as well. A couple of decisions. I mean, if you wanted to say that Liverpool should have had that handball situation against Chelsea, that probably would have been more points on Salah. And also if Wolves got their penalty against us, Dylan, Gareth has Onana in goal, so I would have won through that as well.
9 points. Yeah.
So the two penalty decisions swayed the whole thing. My bench swayed it. I'm not that worried, if I'm honest. One thing I am worried about is Ake, because I didn't even, when we were doing the draft, I didn't contemplate that Gvardiol is potentially going to play in that area. Like, he plays a left-footed centre-back at left-back, doesn't he, Pep? Which is
but he did play a lot of left-back as well.
Straight swap for Ake. As soon as I saw that, I thought I've made a mistake here.
It's going to happen at some point, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's a worry. Other than that,
you got Rico Henry, man. It's not bad. Like, Rico Henry's decent. He was on my list, so you can easily sub him out.
And also Wilson started on the bench as well. I'm very happy with the Nick Jackson pick, though. I think he's probably going to come good.
I'm not sure for FPL points. I like him as a player, but I'm not sure in terms of FPL. But I'm not going to lie.
I think he might be in pens, because he took one in pre-season. So that's kind of where. And Chelsea pens. Chelsea look good. Yeah. They're only starting forward, and Kunku ain't going to get minutes for a long time.
Yeah, it could work. It's it's only the first week. Something could happen. There'll be game weeks when random players that we've got that we wouldn't expect points from get points. It's a long old season. I'm not getting too excited yet, but I am still very happy with my team's performance this week, nonetheless.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Well done as well. 66 is a bit nuts for your first week in draft.
No captains as well. No Haaland. We take those.
Yeah. You can't captain anyone. No chips are available. But you do only get 3 points for a win. So despite this, what's the distance between you and Luke? Despite the 46-point difference, it's actually only 3 points. So it's not.
Yeah, I know. I did kind of think it was going to work actual goal difference. So I'd be on plus 33 and Curtis would be on minus 33. But
no, I think it kind of is because you're still your points tally. So it'll still
true. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, just the formatting just looks like that. But yeah, it is what it's fun though, isn't it, draft? It's my first time doing it. So.
It is good. I'm enjoying it so far. We'll see if that's still the case in a couple of weeks. But so far, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I'm sure Luke is as well.
As long as he doesn't get the forfeit, he'll be a happy man.
What is the forfeit?
I think we decided based on the vote today that. Is it we have to make a TikTok explaining how to get out of the Matrix and stuff?
Yeah, and you have to know you're not allowed to explain yourself either. You just
have to make a TikTok talking how to get out of the Matrix.
Just completely stone-faced TikTok. How'd you get out of the Matrix? And just leave it on your profile.
Oh, great.
You'll be that guy.
Sorry, I've just noticed as well. I've just looked at my phone and I let slip Curtis's trade that he told me about in confidence in DMs to Luke. But that's dirty of me. Sorry, Curtis. I've shot on you twice in a week there. Lad. Apologies.
Right. Should we go on to the next round of questioning?
Yeah.
We can either do your kind of. Well, it's not really a tiebreaker. It's a chance for you both to earn more points and we'll see who wins from the quizzes. Or you can just fire mine at me deal. I'm happy to do either or for you, my friend.
I can fire yours at you, but obviously it's not going to be the same kind of point system. So is it worth doing?
Yeah, I just like it. It's just fun.
Okay, that's fine. Well, I'll do a timer as well. I'll do a rough 90-second timer on the screen. So we're going to start it when that timer hits 45 minutes, and it'll end when it's 46 and 30, right?
Yeah, cool.
Okay. But obviously you've only got 5 questions, so it might be a little bit easy for you. So ready, Dan?
You got the timer on.
Yeah, it's so good. Who did Crystal Palace sign Eze from?
QPR.
Correct. Who are currently top of the championship table? You'll come back to it if you want.
Yeah, pass.
Okay. True or false, Tyrone Mings has played more than 20 times for England.
False.
False, 18. Which EFL team plays their home games at the Wham Stadium?
The Wham Stadium.
Yeah, I said this to Dave. I don't know if it's the band that sponsored it or if it's a suite. Either way, it's quite funny. Imagine being
the
sweet.
completely guess. Scunthorpe.
Okay, Accrington Stanley.
They're not even in the Football League anymore.
Are they not?
No, Scunthorpe. No, Scunthorpe.
Oh, okay. Which two non-British, you should get this. Which two non-British clubs did Man United legend Mark Hughes play for?
Barcelona and Bayern Munich.
Yeah, okay. So you've got about 40 seconds on who are top of the championship table.
Who's won 2? I wanted to say Southampton.
There's not many teams. I actually looked at it yesterday. So
I think Cardiff won at the weekend, but they drew with Leeds. So it can't be Leeds. Cardiff can't be QPR. Not Southampton. Leeds, no. Borough, no.
I'll give you a clue. It's a big clue because it doesn't really matter. It's one of the newly promoted teams.
Oh, is it? Wednesday.
No, I think they're rock bottom. Oh no, they're third from bottom. It is Ipswich and our boy Kieran McKenna won his 2 opening games.
Yeah.
Beat Stoke and beat Sunderland. There you go. Ipswich top with +3 goal difference. There's only 2 teams to have won both games, which are Ipswich and Leicester, which is quite shocking. I thought there would have been more than 2 teams to win their opening 2. But Dan, you scored 3 out of 5, which isn't bad because championship question. If you didn't look at it, you're not going to know. And the Wham Stadium one.
I watched a little bit of the championship football, but I haven't.
It's just looking at the table though. I've watched none of it and thought I'll have a look. Last night I thought I'd have a look. I heard McKenna's doing well. Oh shit, it's top. That's literally my research.
Okay,
that's just lucky.
You said which football league club, and I picked a club outside of the football league. So
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
It does. Yeah, well, it's one of them. It's a punt anyway, isn't it? And I still do need to research if it's named after the suite or not, because Wham is a very underrated old school suite for me.
That is the important bit from that quiz. I think that is the
is.
way. It's just, is it the suite? If it's the suite, we might have to go.
Mm-hmm. It's known as the Wham Stadium as part of a 3-year, £200,000 sponsorship deal with What More UK Limited. It's previously also, so I don't know what they mean, but they put What and More together and it makes Wham. So it's not as exciting as being named after an old school confectionery item, but still interesting nonetheless.
There we go. You learn something new every day.
Yeah, every day's a school day. That's why you watch it, boys.
I think I'm going to try and avoid talking about United and West Ham on this next subject because we're going to be talking about the game week coming up. I've got a little bit more interest in it when we start talking about FPL in terms of my own personal bias to who I'm looking forward to seeing at the weekend. But standout fixtures, Newcastle City is that you can't beat that.
No, that'll be interesting. I don't know. It's a tough one to call, man, because City obviously looked good, but Burnley still had a little bit of joy. It wasn't a sparkling performance from City by any means. You've just got a fucking freak up front, as always. It digs them out of shit. Wish we had one of those. But Newcastle looked good, 5-1. But Villa did have it again, a few chances. I thought Newcastle were lucky to win the game 5-1 in the end. I don't think that really reflected how good Villa were in the first half. I think they had quite a lot of chances. So it's going to be an interesting one for sure. Probably the 2 best teams we've seen so far this season going up against each other. Should be an interesting matchup. Pep Roulette as well. Yeah, should be decent.
Luke, coming to you. Remember, Man City, no Kevin De Bruyne. A lot of people putting the eggs in the Pep Guardiola and Man City basket. I get it. I do get it. And they look 3-0, comfortable. Haaland scores after, seconds really, and the first touch of the ball as well for himself. They play with 2 advanced states, 2 wingers. They have got the starting 4 included Kevin De Bruyne, so we're not going to include him for the next 4 months, the rest of the year. It was Kovacic who come on and took his place. So you had Foden on one wing, Bernardo Silva on the other wing, and then you had obviously Kovacic and Alvarez in the 2 advanced states, if you like. The only senior member of that Manchester Football Club squad that was on the bench is Jack Grealish. Is that enough to get them through this season? Because I think they need to dip heavily into the market. Elise looks like he's off. Where they're going to go? You were confident with Newcastle at the start of the show. Are you that confident now? Bearing in mind it is at the Etihad. What are your thoughts on the game?
Man City at the Etihad are just unrivaled, aren't they? Unless they play Spurs or something like that. But they are like an absolute force at home. Haaland is just a cheat code. So, but Newcastle did look really good going forward. Obviously, City have got. I think Gavardio will be ready to play that game, but will he be able to get settled in straight away? Don't know, do we? But yeah, there's a problem. The squad depth on the bench, as you said, the only senior member, Jack Grealish. I would go with 2 on Man City, I think.
2-1 City, I like it.
Did you say that the only senior players Man City had on the squad in the bench the other day was Grealish?
To cover those 4 positions, yeah.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, I was going to say, well, they've got, Cole Palmer, I guess, is like 23, but yeah. Yeah, it is a worry. They are lacking options, really. I mean, the defensive and midfield depth's actually looking better than I thought it was, but yeah, they might struggle. I think it'll be a close game. Obviously, City have the Super Cup tomorrow night as well, which potential for more injuries, squad rotation, Pep roulette, which usually isn't an issue because they've got the best squad in the world, which you probably still do, really. But yeah, it'll be an interesting little side note to that game for sure, and I hope Newcastle beat them. But
player for player, they definitely do have the strongest in terms of quality. But you could add because if Haaland doesn't play or Haaland gets a knock or whatever rotation, that's Alvarez going there, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So you can argue for 5 positions they've got 6 players for the rest of up until Christmas till De Bruyne is back, unless you want to put a lot of eggs in the Cole Palmer basket, of course. So he looks a quality player, doesn't he? But when you talk about players coming in through their breakthrough season, it's that reliability. You don't rely on them. They're available. They get their chances. If they perform, they stay. But that's not a reliance.
I don't think he's that good, to be honest. I think he's quite shit.
Really to the solo for you.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, if Paqueta goes, I don't think he's that good, Cole Palmer.
All right, Luke's gone 2-1. What are you saying?
We're doing a score prediction. I'll go with 3-1 Man City. I can't see Newcastle getting more than 1 goal at the Etihad, to be honest. I hope they do.
Without De Bruyne, obviously, you can't say De Bruyne's missing and it's not a good time to play City. Of course, it's a perk in not playing City. Mm-hmm. I think the better time to be playing City is probably that fixture congestion around Christmas this year, especially if they don't dip into the transfer market. Because I am worried about that squad depth there, but it's too early in the season for me. I'll go 3-1 City. They like conceding goals, City do. I know that because I had Edison in my FPL last year and he didn't give me very many points. So I'm going to give Newcastle a go. I do remember, though, quite heavily that 3-3 from last year when Newcastle ended up going 3-1 up. And I think it was like the 60th minute where City went back to 3-2. That Kieran Trippier free kick in that game as well. So it's an exciting fixture. I'm going to go side on Pep Guardiola's side. They're normally okay at the start of the season. They have ups and downs at the start of the season, but very, very early, they're normally quite good.
Yeah.
Okay, next fixture. We can go wherever we want from here. For me, I'm really interested in the Liverpool game just because they played Chelsea last time. They were away. I've said again, it's more I need more convincing myself. I want to see Szoboszlai actually stay in the center of the park, see Trent come out a little bit before we get any kind of conviction of what Liverpool are trying to do this season. And also Bournemouth signings as well. They're actually borderline a good team to follow this season, bearing in mind what everybody thought of them last season. Luke, I'm going to come to you first. Any interest in the game, thoughts on the game, and a score prediction, please?
Is it Anfield or if I
it's at Anfield. Yeah,
I looked at the fixture properly. Bournemouth are going to go attacking. Definitely, they're just going to go for it. Obviously, they've got 2 very attacking fullbacks now within Max Aarons and I can't remember his name. The Hungarian
Kerkez.
Obviously, they're a very attacking-minded team now. They were under Gary O'Neill, and now the ex-Rayo Vallecano manager. He looks like against us, they were really good going forward. But Liverpool, aren't they? You know, at Anfield, traditionally they're very good there, but they do slip up sometimes. So I'm going to go with 2-2.
Interesting. Yeah, I think Bournemouth and Liverpool have played some good games out in the past. Usually Liverpool end up winning them by a couple of goals, but they're usually quite entertaining. So, yeah, I'm expecting a decent game. I've just noticed David Brooks is back fully in the starting 11 as well, which is really nice to see. He's a quality player. Glad to see him back. But yeah, I think it'll be quite an entertaining game. I didn't watch the Bournemouth game, so I'm not sure on what their brand of football exactly is under the new manager. But I'm going to expect a good game, a good end-to-end game that Liverpool will eventually win, just because quality will shine through. The frailties in defence, Bournemouth's defence will show. So I'm going to go for a nice cheeky 4-2 bit of Saturday viewing that we can't watch because it's on at 3 p.m. But 4-2 for me.
We definitely can't watch that. No,
no
okay,
chance.
that's fair enough.
Second end.
I hear it. I mean, I think that's probably one reason why it stuck out when I picked it off of the fixture list is because you tend to get a good game between those two. I think it's going to be goals galore as well. Luke's already touched on it. Bournemouth under this new manager. It's going to be progressive football. It's going to be high pressing football. They're going to try and play out at times. Liverpool are all at sea in the middle of the pack. The defense gets run at. But they've got so much quality going forward, loads of it. So I think there's going to be goals. I'm going to go 3-2 Liverpool. I think it is going to be a high-scoring game.
Decent, yeah. Hopefully it will be.
Okay, I'm going to close it off because we mentioned already the West Ham Chelsea game and Luke's kind of apprehensions around it, but they do get good results at home against Chelsea. So we'll let that one simmer, I guess, and we'll find out on Sunday what happens at West Ham. Spurs United, let's do it. I'm going to flip it around this time. We'll go Dill, then Luke. But interest in the game, Dill. What are you looking to see? And yeah,
just a bit. I don't want to go over the same points again that I made earlier. Just a little bit more structure and an idea of what we're doing at United. Really, a little bit more fluidity, more meaningful attacks. Yeah, that's about it. I don't really know. It does work with Rashford up front sometimes, but do I want to see us go away to a Spurs team that's got a lot of new players in it, lost the best player under a new manager, and see us play in transition and just play ping on balls up to Rashford? Not really, but I'm just looking for 3 points, to be honest, Daniel, because I think Spurs look fairly promising going forward the other day. Obviously, still have the defensive issues. They're not the most solid team in the world, but a good, entertaining game of football that United will eventually win. As I said, I don't want to go over it too much because I've already said pretty much everything I've said I want to say about United. I don't want to bore anyone more than I already do. But I think we'll get it over the line. I think it will be tough, and I think we will win 2-1.
2-1, like it, Luke?
Yeah, a lot of points that Dylan touched on there. Spurs are new manager, but he is more attacking than Conte, Mourinho. Well, obviously they were more defensive-minded football. 5 at the back, 2 CDMs. But now with Ange, he looks like very attacking. As you said, a lot of possession against Brentford, who are a tough side to play against. I'm going to go 2 on Spurs.
Fair enough. I think to be honest, I don't even fully disagree with that, just because I'll explain that, but on what I'm just about to say as well. I fully expect the game to pan out to be maybe 65-70 possession in favour of Spurs. And that hurts to say, but that's for me, that's realistic. I think their midfield's going to get hold of the ball. You see how Basuma and Maddison work together. It looked very good. When Bentancur come on instead of Skip as well, I just thought it just clicked and it worked and the balance is there. That's something we don't have. Teams control games through the middle of the pack. It's up to Spurs to put themselves into positions where they can create chances and try and hurt us. A little bit unsure on what that looks like at Spurs at the moment. Son looked a little bit lost. How'd you get him into the game?
Yeah.
Kulusevski was just wandering in field a lot. Didn't really look threatening, I suppose. You can see where both of the Spurs goals come from as well. One was a fullback on the edge of the area. That's not going to be repeating itself every single week. I think we keep a clean sheet again. I'm going to go 2-0 United, and it's going to be purely on transition. It's going to be Royale and Sanchez with Rashford. It sets up nicely. They play into our hands. I said at the start of the show, we struggle against teams that are happy to sit in the low block. Spurs, that isn't Spurs. They're at home. They're going to be egged on. I think we're quite happy with that. Unfortunately, we're quite happy with that. But yeah, 2-0 United.
Yeah, fair. Good points, well made. I hope you're right.
I hope I'm right too. We've got 2 minutes left of the show. I've got a question round for you both. I call it like quiz tennis or something. I'll explain the rules very carefully. Essentially, I'm going to give you a topic. I gave you an example earlier before in the pre-show about the 2008, I don't know, England team. Go back and forth, one answer each. Dylan, say Rooney, and then you can go Lampard, Luke, and I'll just say yes to confirm whether the answer is correct or not. We've got 5 different topics. It's the first to 3, okay? There is no time limit on your answer. But I'm Quizmaster today. If I feel like you're taking the piss a little bit, I'm going to give you the 5-second countdown. There's no rhyme or reason for it. But if it gets a little bit later and you're struggling, I might give you a little bit more time. If you do it at the beginning, you're getting the clock.
Cool. Yeah. Good.
Okay, I'm going to get the first one.
Get it.
I've got quite a nice tiebreaker one for you as well.
Okay.
But the first one I keep fairly simple. Dill, I'm going to start with you for the first round, then Luke will go for the next one.
Mhm.
I'm going to say it out right now. This is not including Cristiano Ronaldo because I'm talking about this summer.
Mhm.
Name me European footballers, and they don't have to be big names, European footballers that have moved from Europe to the Saudi League this summer.
European is in the country of their birth.
As in they've left. You could South American as well. Who's moved to the Saudi League this year? I'm using European because I'm thinking of the Italian league, the English league, like that kind of stuff. But I don't mean like if they're South American, not.
Yeah. Okay. I'll start with Neymar then.
Yep.
Milinkovic-Savic.
Yep.
Benzema.
Yep.
Kante.
Yep.
Firmino.
Yep.
Fabinho.
Yep.
Saint-Maximin.
Yep.
John Henderson.
Yep.
Oh shit! Now I'm struggling. Oh my god. Fucking hell, that's terrible, Dylan. Oh wow, there's got to be more Prem players, surely to God, man.
5.
Alex
4.
Telles.
Yep.
Eduardo Mendy.
Yep.
I didn't know that. I forgot about that one. Shit.
5. 4. 3.
Mate, yeah, bottled it.
1.
I bottled it. I'm done.
Okay, let's get. Musa Dembele. You got Brozovic, Koulibaly, Ruben Neves.
Yeah, Ruben Neves.
I'm not sure if Mahrez came out there, but you got like Frank Kessie as well. There's a couple.
Yeah, that was poor.
I was umming and ahhing about allowing Steven Gerrard, but I did say players. But if it got later rounds, I might have passed it just for fun. But yeah, that was that. 1-0 Luke.
GG's.
So there we go. That's how it works. I'm sure you get it by now, but we're going to do exactly the same thing, but in reverse. This time I do not want the name of the clubs. I'm very aware you know the name of the clubs in the Premier League. There are 20 possible answers. I want to know the stadium names of the teams in the Premier League. Luke, we're going to start with you this time. I would say advantage, but where it's an even number, it's not really an advantage, except for you get the easy one first. Stadium names in the Prem. Luke, go.
Vitality.
Yep.
Old Trafford.
Yep.
London Stadium.
Sorry, London Stadium. Yep.
The Etihad.
Yep.
The Amex.
Yep.
Anfield.
Yep.
Emirates.
Yep.
St James's Park.
Yep.
Craven Cottage.
Yep.
That was my next one. Kenilworth Road.
Yep.
Turf Moor.
Yep.
The City Ground. That's
Elaborate.
The Forest called the City Ground.
Oh, yep. Yep. Sorry. Yeah.
Villa Park.
Yep.
I don't know if it's been said. Molyneux.
Hasn't been said. Yep.
Good.
Goodison Park.
Yep. Hasn't been said.
Shit. There's not many left now, is there? Oh no. Has Stamford Bridge been said?
No. Yes, Luke.
The Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah.
Is that it done?
No.
I don't know what Brentford's
You have
called.
got. I think you've got 4 left.
Oh, someone said looked at Sellers Park.
Yep.
Fuck.
No,
right.
I didn't say Sellers. I haven't said Sellers Park.
No, I meant yep. As in you can have it.
There we go.
Oh God.
I'm fairly sure there's only 3 more.
I can't. I'm trying to think of Sheffield United, but I can't think. Nah, I'm done.
I've got that one. Bramall Lane.
I've been there as well.
What's the Brentford ground called out of interest? Is it just a Brentford Community Stadium or something?
It's literally the Brentford Community Stadium.
That was meant. Yeah. Okay.
What was the other one?
We got Falmer Stadium. Did we go?
You what?
Falmer. It's Brighton.
No, it's the Amex, bro. Who said it?
They've got Falmer on here, like official name for this year.
Oh,
is it?
This is from the Premier League website. Yeah.
Oh, what? Okay, never mind.
It's called the Falmer Stadium.
Anyway.
We gave the Amex because I didn't know. And
anyway,
it was that last season.
I got the dog there.
Dean Court, did we go?
Who's this Dean Court?
Bournemouth.
Well, that's a vitality, isn't it?
Yeah, but I know what I'm okay with the.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
I was
Anyway,
okay with that. I let you off a little bit, but yeah. Okay, cool. 1-1.
what have we got next?
That's a very good question. Okay, so this one is, and we'll start with you, Dylan. Who has previously won the Premier League, keyword, Premier League Golden Boot? You got from 92 to 2023. By the way, some people have won it more than once, by the way. I do not want you to go same name, same name, same name. As soon as their name's gone, then it's gone.
Okay, Erling Haaland.
Yep.
Salah.
Yep.
Mane.
Yep.
Aubameyang.
Yep.
Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yep.
Kevin Phillips.
Fucking hell, that's a rogue
Yep.
one. That's true as well. I know that one.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Luis Suarez.
Yep.
Alan Shearer. I assume he's.
Yep.
Thierry Henry.
Yep.
Oh, man, this is Jamie Vardy. Did he win?
I think he did.
Yep.
Sergio Aguero must have won one.
Yep. Once, surprisingly.
Harry Kane.
Yep.
Oh, God. Andy Cole.
Yep.
Michael Owen.
Yes, once. No, twice.
Shit. Right, now I'm in trouble. Now I'm in deep, deep trouble. Let's think back a little bit now. Didier Drogba.
Yes.
Van Nistelrooy.
Yes.
Robin Van Persie.
Yes.
Oh, no, that's
He did it back to back, once at Arsenal, once at United.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Abs, Dwight York.
Yes.
Fuck, that was my backup one. That was my backup shout. Teddy Sheringham.
Yes, first ever Golden Boot winner.
Yes.
Oh, Les Ferdinand.
I don't think he has. I think he was too early.
2-1 Dylan.
Yes.
There's a few missing. There's Chris Sutton, Dion Dublin, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, Nicholas Anelka was missing, Carlos Tevez, Berbatov, and
we did quite well, I think.
Heung-min Son. You actually did very well, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think it would have been very easy to pick a high-scoring player, which just probably fell short 1 or 2 years and then never quite reached it. But yeah, it's you did well, boys. Well done.
Right.
So that is 2-1 deal. We've got 2 more. This is quite nice because I mean, at least we're getting to the later rounds. It could have been 3-0 to someone. So yeah, we'll work with that. Next one is players who have played for both Manchester United and West Ham. Luke, we'll start with you.
Rio Ferdinand.
Yep.
Carlos Tevez.
Yes.
Oh no, something so bad. Oh no.
I've got a few.
I'm actually so stuck.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go.
Lingard, man.
Oh,
Carrick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you want to just give us a few, Dill? Go on, show off for a little bit.
I haven't really got many more.
I've got them in front of me because mine's cheating, but I can give you a couple.
Yeah, I can't really show up. I think they're the only two I had in my head. Then I stopped thinking.
Ravel Morrison, Roy Carroll, Paul Ince, Patrice Evra, Jesse Lingard, Michael Carrick, Teddy Sheringham, Jonathan Spector, Kieran Richardson. So we had a few.
Decent.
My age shows there.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Didn't you have Chicharito at one point as well?
Oh,
yeah, that's another one. Yeah, they did.
I've literally got a photo of him in my room. That's why.
Yeah, so there you go, boys. End of the quiz round. I mean, Luke, you won the original Golden Boot, which is the 5 questions. I mean, you got 10 out of 12, Dylan, 8 out of 12. So congratulations on that. And then Dill won the back and forth tennis. I don't know, it needs a proper name. I'm calling it tennis because it goes backwards and forwards. Other than that, lads, I mean, one of you was supposed to win, so you could sign us out on the show. I'll give you both 30 seconds to say goodbye, and then I'll sign us out.
I've not really got anything to say, and I would quite like to go and get my tea. So I'm just going to say thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Eclipse. Follow LiveDuel, Viva la LiveDuel. And what else can I say? Isn't it nice to not watch David De Gea play football? Cheers.
Luke?
3 words, West Ham are massive.
They are pretty massive. Cheers, boys. And Luke, thanks for coming on for your first show, mate. Appreciate it. And until next time, I suppose next week, we'll catch you soon.